Everybody loves the new game, old world. Everybody wants to learn about how. Adam, Pete, and Danny told me that old world charm starts now.
G'day, our lovely sausages, and welcome to episode 53 of That Old World Charm. Myself and the lovely Peter the Falcon are here. Hello, mate.
Caca! Sausages. These are my babies.
Yeah, there could be baby sausages today.
I guess so. Like little Vienna sausages.
Yeah, little wieners.
Little Vienna wieners.
Anyway, we're here to review the brand new Cetra's Fury Arcane Journal, which, and hopefully if we time this correctly and have recorded this in time, Dickie has got this edited and we have out just as the pre-order goes up on Saturday. But we're going to be reading through this. So we're going to give you that man reads book style goodness. We're going to dive right in and give you all the goss, everything that's changed, everything that's good, bad, and otherwise. And then, of course, as always, there's a second part of this podcast over on That Old World Charm at Patreon, where you can get the goodness and the runoff, I believe, of me and Peter maybe holding back a little bit less, swearing a little bit more, and answering our Patreon questions. But my dude, we always do hot takes at the start, mate. Give us your hottest take on this book.
There were a lot of like quote unquote leaks and rumors about this book and what it had in it, and those were like insane for what was possibly going to show up on our doorsteps, and that may have created like an excitement that just should never have been there.
A vortex of expectation.
Yeah. So like this book is definitely, it feels very similar to the second Cathay Arcane Journal, the one we just reviewed like a month ago, Storm Dragon, in that it feels very much like filler.
It really feels like filler, doesn't it? It feels like the seventh episode in a good anime series.
Yeah. There's definitely like several pages of stuff here that could be concatenated down to one or two lines when it comes at least to the rule side of things. That said, if you're, I think what we're seeing now with these arcane journals is that they're more built for narrative style things more than anything else. There's less of a competitive bent. We kind of saw that with the Cathay one. And if that's your jam, if you're into like kit bashing, or if you're into just like the narrative side of things and building narratively focused armies, this book's got a couple of things for you, and I think you'll be pretty excited.
It's pretty good. The lore's not bad. The little 500-point sandbox system that they've built is not bad either. We're going to unpack that as well, because I didn't see that one coming. I didn't expect that one. Just for people at home. Vortex of Expectation is a remains in play large blast vortex. It's cast within 18 inches of the caster. Anything within 18 inches of the vortex is half initiative and gets always strikes last. If you're in the vortex, you can't charge. If you are touched by the vortex, you can't charge. Vortex of Expectation, guys. There you go.
Yeah.
What's the casting value of this vortex?
It's a 5. It's easy peasy. Also,
easy.
Extremely easily dispelled, as we've learned. Very easily dispelled.
I was going to give it two different values, like they're hard to cast, easy to dispel, but yours is better.
Yeah, and that's where we're at. But I will say, as a fan of lore, I even loved all of the End Times lore, even when it got weird. This book hits it for me. I think it hits it better in some ways than most of the other arcane journals, especially because like one of the main heroes in it is a guy that gets like a paragraph in the Bretonnia Arcane Journal. And I honestly think it's a big swing and a miss that he isn't allowed to be used by any of the armies in this book, given that he takes up like 50% of the book.
Which dude? The Wormslayer guy?
The Wormslayer, yeah.
Yeah. He's freaking awesome. He is cool. Yeah, what a baller backstory. And
Yeah.
he's mentioned so much, and then you're like, where is he?
Yeah, you guys created an army where like the whole book is like half of the book is about how like cool that how like great a general this guy is of that army. You give us an army list for him and like how to design like the armor on his troops, and they're like, but you can't use him in that army.
No,
Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like, such an easy thing. It's not like he's a broken character.
No, he's not. Yeah.
And Adam, I know we're burying the lead here. He's mounted in the stories. This is easy money. GW could have made a mounted Wormslayer, and people would have bought that shit.
Resold.
I would have bought that shit.
Way more likely to buy the mounted one than the one on foot.
Yeah. Like, my God. Anyway, we'll get into that. The lore here is really good. You get a little bit of lore about the Border Princes in this book and kind of what they're up to as Cetra's forces come to give them the deads. You find out that Cetra split his forces, so he's got Cetra himself is leading an army kind of directly into the middle of the Border Princes' lands, and meanwhile, a second army led by his like main hierophant is going up a river to attack what's called the vaults, and yeah, it's some really cool lore. You get to find out like just how the Border Princes kind of act in this current scenario, why the Slayers get involved, which is mainly because they're just hang out in the mountains and they're drinking a lot, and they're like, man, there's a lot of fighting. We should go take part in that. That sounds cool.
I will say, after skimming the lore, I found the inclusion of Slayers to be real ham-fisted.
Oh yeah, they're just like,
how do we put these guys in the lore? We got this army of infantry we want to release, and whatever. They're just there. The Tomb Kings walk past them, and the Slayers are like, "You what, mate?" And there we go, they're in.
Pretty much. But some really cool stuff. I do love. There's talk about Elise Ducard or whatever, the damsel, the named damsel from the Bretonnia book as well. She's featured pretty heavily at one point. The Wormslayers featured extremely heavily. It's like from a lore perspective, Ace A1.
Yeah.
Rules perspective though, which is kind of what we're here for. Where do we want to get started with that? Or do you want to go over the foray rules or the battle march rules first?
Let's do the battle march. So battle march essentially is a vanguard or a spearhead. If you've played AOS or 40k recently, they have a small box game where you play with a much smaller force with a little bit of altered rule set. They've now done that for Old World. It's called battle march. Mastering a battle march, yada yada yada. Old Worlds with big armies. This is now little armies. With that in mind, the rules that follow are intended to add greater depth to games played using armies between 500 points and 750 points. Note that should players wish these rules to be used when creating an allied contingent, as described on page 280 of the old book, for army between 2,000 points and 3,000 points if they wish. So they still let you go up. So minimum of 2 units. When writing your force for a listed game battle march, your army must include a minimum of 2 non-character units. This minimum can include war machines, but cannot include units whose true type is swarm or beasts. Character limitations. As with any army, an army created for battle march must include at least 1 character to act as a general. However, when writing a list, you can't spend more than 25% of your points on a single character. The unit limitations are 35% of your army must be on core, 30% on a single special unit, total points, and 25% in rare or mercenary.
No, you're slightly off here. This is actually the maximums you can have per unit. So you can maximum have a unit that's size that is 35% of your points limit. That's in a single core unit. So if you wanted to, let's say you're doing Bretonnia at this at like 500 points, you can't run more than 350 points in a single unit of Knights of the Realm.
Yeah.
And then 30% you can't have more than 30% of your army devoted to a special unit and
25% of a rare. Yeah.
Rare or mercenaries. Yeah.
Nice. Tell us about the rest. Give us the TLDR.
Oh, and then the final thing is they've added a special, like, if you wish to include a unit or like a unit upgrade that is normally 0 to X per 1,000 points, you are allowed to take one of those for your whole army. And it's all inclusive. So let's say you wish to take you have like a 1 per 1,000 rare slot option that you really want to bring. You can bring that, but then you cannot take an upgrade that would be 1 per 1,000 points,
like a drilled on a unit of long beards or something.
Yes, exactly. So, like, let's say you can take stubborn on a unit at 1 unit per 1,000 points. You cannot take stubborn if you take a unit that's on a like X per 1,000 points.
I think this is actually quite a clever way to like hold down the power level, to be honest.
Yeah, and it lets you like bring at least one kind of cool toy or one kind of slightly customized unit, right? Which makes the game less bland. Also, letting you the part there of having to have 2 non-character units, but letting war machines count towards the non-character limit, unlike in the big boy game, also opens up some stuff too, right? So it's really cool. It's the army building side. I'm pretty. It's simple, but I think that's what you need at like 500 to 750, and you don't want something overly complicated. So.
All right, playing on the tables. So the tables are 30 by 44 is what they've designed this around. And then, terrain is placed down and scattered as, page 16 of the match play guide. However, that's problematic. So maybe just chuck it down as logically fits you. And they're giving you 5 different map scenarios. One with a couple of objectives, 2 objectives, one with 3 objectives, one that is just looks like just pitch battle. Yeah, one that is.
It's what it is actually there's 2 objective types.
True. So there's 2 mission types, and then you roll for the deployment map.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can have a mission that is 2 objectives, one basically in or near each deployment zone, one that's 3 objectives that are kind of along the center line of your board, and then you roll a d6, and that determines your deployment, whether it's pitch battle, close encounter, which is like corners with a circle in the middle, or opposed flanks, which are diagonals.
Why do people call that corners? That's quarters. Close encounter is table quarters.
I apologize.
You baboon.
I don't know why we didn't get a short ends one. Why did they go with flanks? Yeah.
No battle for the pass equivalent.
Like opposed flanks is like the most complicated. Also, some people probably wondering why they went with 30 by 44. That's half of a 40K table. It's also so GW has sold like battle mats in the past that were 30 inches by 44 for Kill Team and Vanguard and some of their other games. And that's just 100% why they went with that.
They're just, exactly right, lining it up. Tell us about the VPs.
Yes, victory points. So you get your standard victory points here, and they've basically said like the game is going to be completely victory point based. However, with some exceptions. Every enemy point unit that's destroyed or is fled off the battle is worth 100% of the victory points. If enemy unit is fleeing at the end of the battle but hasn't fled off the board, they're worth 50% of their points. If an enemy unit has been reduced to 1/4 or less of its starting unit strength at the end of the battle, or is at a wound value that is equal to 25% or less of its starting wounds. This is very important because this is not something that we have in the big boy game. They are worth a number of victory points equal to 50% of their points cost. Aces.
Do you agree with me? I'd like to see that in our game as well.
Yeah, I would love it.
I'd love it as well. Yeah, it's like there's just like a reason on turn 6 to just try a fireball at the dragon to get one more wound off.
And in this case, it's only if the unit strength is equal to its starting wounds. So, like, this wouldn't work on chariots or things like that. But monsters, ridden monsters, which at 500 points, you probably aren't going to see too many that are 125 points or less. But, whatever. Anyway, now then you have King is Dead. General is worth 50 points in battle marches. Yep. Trophies of War, banners are still worth 25 points a pop.
So that's the one that's wild to me. They didn't scale down the amount of the banners are worth. I assumed they were going to be like 15 instead of 25. So banners are worth heaps.
And then BSBs are worth 25. Objectives. So the objectives, when you roll, they are worth 10 victory points at the end of each player's turn, based on who controls them. They then explain how you control objectives. So in this version, at the end of each turn, a battlefield objective can be controlled by any unit that is within 3 inches of it, that has a unit strength of 5 or more, is not fleeing, or has not succumbed to stupidity. If there are 2 or more eligible units, the closest unit controls it. If they are equally close, you have 2 units that are equally close, you go by whichever one has the higher unit strength. And then if they're equal in all ways, it is contested and nobody gets the points.
Yeah. So there's a potential of 120 and 180 secondary points up for grabs, depending if it's 2 objective or 3 objective, Yeah.
And that's not insignificant in a 500-point game, right?
Yeah. I mean, just holding your one for 60 of the one that's on your side of the table is worth like a fast cav unit in this game sense.
Yeah.
Because most of your fast cav units going to be absolute minimum, like no extra bits and pieces. So yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. It's short and concrete, but I like it. I think it's great for new players because it keeps many of the like core rules, and the ones it changes, they're only slightly modified, so it's like an easy transition if you want to go up to a bigger number. And this would be great for like a one-dayer event. I would say even.
Yeah,
right?
one day, 5 games, slap it down, go. Because I've played smaller, of course. You know, played a lot of pickup games, league games, slow grow games. You know, with smaller armies on the same size tables on our 6x4s, and just nothing happens. Nothing happens all game. If your opponent doesn't have a fast army and you have a fast army, well, like you pretty much win because they just don't have enough to hold you off, and you can just flank them at will, and they can't really stop you. Or if you've got 2 slow armies, you just walk at each other, and then you stand outside maximum charge range, and that's the game. The game stops there. So yeah, this is a much more intuitive rule set, I think. Much better.
Okay, what's next in this
We're
book?
up to the Tomb Kings. Oh boy, they gave us a new steed for Tomb Kings, the Barded Skeletal Steed. It is 1 less movement, but has barding on top of a skeletal steed, and will cost you 16 points to add it to either the Tomb King or Prince, Royal Herald, or either your priests, High Priest or Mortuary Priest. So 16 points each. Does this add? I don't think this really adds a one goddamn thing to the game. I don't think a Barded Skeletal Steed is a option for anything that other than maybe a priest. Maybe you chuck a caster on a steed for a bit if you can't afford something better and you want a little bit of extra speed on your caster.
I would probably even then just put him on a regular steed because you don't want to lose the movement to get
exactly.
Armor save, right?
The barding doesn't add anything to the priest. It doesn't have a freaking armor save. So yeah, sorry, never mind.
So he gets like a 6-up armor save out of it.
Yay!
4-up, I guess, if you take the heavy armor that they can take, the warding splint. I think it's a warding splint. So for
That's
4 points, you get up to a 4-up armor save.
5-up ward. Regen.
Maybe, and a regen. Maybe you take it. I don't think so. There's no reason, guys.
No.
I don't see anybody else taking it. Like,
I really
mounted
don't.
Tomb King stuff is kind of garbo. This is fluffy, and it's because they have a new model. Yeah, they could have made this cooler. There's a lot of things they could have done.
So many things.
I mean, I know some people were kind of excited about the concept of maybe like a Necro Serpent mount, which would be cool. And
like with Beneath the Sands, like a character with in a unit Beneath the Sands, chef's kiss.
Yeah. Even if it was bad, Adam. Even if it was bad,
it would be cool.
Cool concept.
At least it would be cool. This is not cool.
This is just like you might as well just take the regular steed in most cases. Like there's probably some very niche scenario someone's already thought up where like barding is the only thing keeping me back.
Fair enough. All right. Well, moving on.
I don't see it. By the way, guys, this is a whole page devoted to Barded Skull. Like they redo all of the character mounts for all of the characters. And then they're like, there's a line where it's like, just to let you know, all we did was add 1 mount to them. like at the very bottom, which was literally all they had to do.
This literally could have been 1 line.
Yeah.
Literally could be 1 line. Any character that can take a skeletal steed can now take a barded steed for 16 points. Yeah. And then gives the barded steed profile. Like, what do you do? Done. Anyway, for reasons unbeknownst to all of us, they decided to make a winged war sphinx because the Necro Sphinx wasn't enough. A winged War Sphinx will cost you 180 points. It's the War Sphinx profile at move 6, but it's fly 9. Weapon skill 4, strength 5, T6, 5 wounds, initiative 1, 4 attacks, leadership 8. Comes with the same Wicked Claws profile at strength user AP 2 in combat. Closed order, counter charge, indomitable 2, like I said, fly 9. Large target, Nekahara Undead, 6 up regen, D3 stomp, swift stride terror. Has the same envenom sting, same fiery roar. I don't know why they bothered to make this.
It's a hobby thing. It's 100% hobbying. And like they even describe, like what they say is like the way we recommend you build this is you build a War Sphinx, and then instead of putting on the Howdah, you take the Necro Sphinx wings and you put it on it.
I wish why not still let it have the Howdah?
Well, that's what I think. I think if you made this like 215 points or something and said you could have the Howdah, this thing would be usable.
It'd be good. It'd be good. Right now, like I think the only reason to use this is because I think you pointed out to me in the green room, it's 15 points cheaper than the Necro Sphinx. It hits slightly harder, I guess, but doesn't have killing blow. It has like 1 more AP, but doesn't have killing blow, and that's literally it.
It's the counter charge. The only reason why I would ever take this is it has counter charge, which is kind of unique for a monster. And like the problem with it. So a regular Necro Sphinx, 195 points. So it is 15 points more, but you do have such a much higher ceiling with them, right? Because of the killing blow and the monster's killing blow attack.
Like this. So I look at this thing for 180 points and I'm like, yeah, cool. 4 attacks, only D3 stomps, no impact hits.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. Like my Cav is not scared of this guy. My 2 up or 3+ save Cav, not scared at all. If I'm going in weapon skill 4 as well, it's going to hit with 2 attacks. Yep, it's going to wound with 1 attack, and I'm going to have a save. It kind of does nothing. Whereas the Necro Sphinx, like you look at it and you're like, this could do nothing, or it could kill my whole unit. This guy's never killing a whole unit. Like this thing bothers me a lot. It does not need to exist.
No, to me, it's just like and I said this at the start of the show. This is like a hobby thing more than anything. The other reason why you take this, so just so you know, like for the people at home, this is a 1 per 1,000 rare choice for mortuary cults and for Grand Army. So in a scenario where you're running some like weird amount of points where you have already taken your 2 Necro Sphinxes and you have enough rare points to do a War Sphinx, a flying War Sphinx, maybe you take one because that's cool. Like you go full zoo.
Yeah.
If you're doing like, I don't know, like a 2,500 point game, let's say, or 2,400 point. Or in a scenario where you're doing like Highlander, where you're only allowed to take one Necro Sphinx and then take the Winged War Sphinx, you basically have 2 Necro Sphinxes. One's just like worse. But anyway.
So I have a theory. Of why this exists. I reckon our good lads, our team of like 3 dudes that are designing, curating, and maintaining Old World, went to Games Workshop with a great, awesome, giant scorpion they wanted to make for Tomb Kings. And the people at Games Workshop, those big fat cats, they slapped it out of their hands and said, piss off, you idiots. Do something with a kit that already exists. We can't put your stupid big scorpion into the production line. And we have the Winged War Sphinx instead. So they went back to it and was like, well, how do we make a dual kit that, because you already make the War Sphinx and the Necro Sphinx from the same kit. How do we make a dual kit, a triple kit, and maximize the kits that already exist? Because that's the only line of thinking that I can come up with for why this is a thing. And if they do that like 2 or 3 more times with stuff in the game, I will be justified and say that I am 100% correct. Infallibly correct.
I think they've just done that almost every book. Like,
see, I'm already infallibly correct.
Like the war lions from the Trajan War Host. They're just like, hey, you have some extra lions from your chariot kits.
Yeah, dude, the 3 levels of White Lion, like the 3 evolutions, the Nidoran, Nidorino, Nidoking of White Lions.
Same idea. It's just like getting more out of kits, right?
Has anyone made that meme yet?
We should. Someone get on that.
Someone should do it. Yeah.
But now we're on to something a little more exciting. And something that may being a very like stretch of the word. The incantations.
I would be very happy if they continue to do things like this. Rather than just releasing armies of infamy, they add a wrinkle. an extra dimension to some armies. Tell us about these. What are they, and what do they do?
So these are the incantations of the Mortuary Cult. And these are like bound spells that have been added to the Tomb King's lineup. They're single use, but they do not take up magic item allotments.
Yep.
And instead, they're similar to the Dwarven Slayer runes, where depending on what character you're putting them on, you can take X amount of scrolls. In fact, just like the Slayer runes, you can duplicate scrolls, but you cannot duplicate the same scroll loadout on more than one guy.
On the same character, correct.
Yeah. So if you have like a high priest, which can take 3 of these scrolls, and you give him, say, 2 of the Righteous Smiting Scroll, we'll get into that in a second, what it does, and like 1 of Arcane Urgency, you can't then take like another high priest and do the same thing. He has to have, he can have like a smiting scroll, but then he also has to have like a summoning scroll. And so you can't do any kind of duplicates. You can't take a bunch of necrotechs and give them all the same like cheap scroll if you wanted to do that, because you're not allowed.
Yeah.
Now, the way that,
interestingly, in addition to these, so I'm assuming I'm getting where you're going, the way you cast these isn't on a casting roll. You don't do a casting roll. You do a leadership test to manifest these, which is quite unique and so much better. So much better. Because if I'm paying points in the game at the moment for just a one-shot bound spell, because these things are one shot, but it's one shot when you've manifested it. If you try and fail, you get to try again, which is very nice as well. So these things have a lot of insurance on them because it's a leadership test rather than a casting roll. And then how does dispelling these work, mate?
Yeah. Well, so just to go over that a little bit more, one thing I did make a little slight mistake. You can't duplicate the same scroll on the same guy either. So you couldn't have 2 smiting on the same guy.
Yeah, you can't do smiting. Yeah.
You can do like smiting, summoning, and another one. You just can't have that exact same combo on somebody else. Anyway, back to this. Leadership test to actually cast the spell. The thing about that is when you succeed, you are considered to have cast it on whatever the base casting value is on the spell itself. And then these can be dispelled as normal, just like any other spell, using that casting value for these spells. So there is no like perfect invocations. There's no like outclassed in the arts in this scenario. If they even mention, like, if you dub 1s on dispelling one of these scrolls, it isn't a miscast for you. You cannot be outclassed in the art. And yeah, like Adam said, the good things about these are if you fail that leadership test, probably with a reroll if you have your BSB, then it doesn't go away. You can try again the next turn. Once you successfully complete the spell, that is when it disappears and you can no longer use that scroll.
So, question just for the layman's out there who I know this question is going to come up. Let's say I cast it successfully, but then it's dispelled. Is it expended? Is it used?
It is, yes. So if an attempt to perform an incantation is unsuccessful, the incantation has not been read to its end. However, if the leadership test is passed, it's considered cast and the scroll disintegrates, essentially.
Yeah.
Now, there are 7 scrolls that they're giving with this, and they seem to kind of hint that there are others. Oh, no, sorry, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And Adam, why don't you start with the first one, the big boy, the 50-point mother.
Let's go. Scroll of Withering. It is a hex, casting value of 8, range 21, which is nice. Range 21 is good. Till the start of your next turn subphase, the target enemy unit suffers a -1 modifier to its strength and initiative characteristic and cannot make ward or regeneration saves. This bound spell may target an enemy unit whilst engaged in combat. So this is a very powerful ability. It's very expensive ability, though. So 50 points. For, it's an 8 to cast. So if you get your leadership off, your opponent needs to roll an 8 on 2 dice, possibly +2, or +3 if you're in the mirror, I guess. And yeah, it's not that hard. It's not that easy to stop it. And what it gives you is just like almost an auto win combat. Like, great, cool, 50 points, I get it off, I'm going to win this combat. Almost guaranteed. But it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not really what Tomb Kings are trying to do. Tomb Kings very rarely bully you in combat; they grind you out. So I can't think of a Tomb Kings unit outside a big unit of chariots that wants to put this on a unit and then blow straight through them. Like just a big charge, execute, kill the whole unit, continue, or break and run them down. So it's hard to conjure where I would want this. What do you think, mate?
This is really good in like the mirror, for example.
Yeah.
You cast it because 21 inches is an intense amount of range.
It's good. Yeah.
This is like great in the mirror or great into like any kind of grind, which is what you want to get into anyway, right? Into like an elite unit. But yeah, the mirror where you're up against a bunch of regen saves and ward saves, like often like with a Tomb King on a dragon or a priest on a dragon, you lock them in for that one turn and then you cast this on them, especially if it's the priest, so they don't get the chance to dispel. And then now they're just down to like a 4-up armor save against you, and you do as much damage as possible you can that turn, right?
To be fair, this is pretty good for Bow Sharpty, right? If you were to rock this up, or let's say you've got your high priest on a dragon, rocks up to their dragon, slaps this on it. They've got a high elf prince dragon, 3-save dragon, -1 modifier to strength and initiative. That doesn't matter, but no ward and regen means they've just got their 3-up. And yet you've got, the Bow Sharpty with the -2 bows. Yep. You could just butcher them. You could just really kill them.
And like you can take more than one of these. The thing is, at 50 points, I don't see how you do. I could see people running one of these in a list as like an insurance maker for the mirror, or maybe like if you're doing like a mass Bow Sharpty and skeleton archers thing, to like try to drop a lantern on a go turn.
That's what I was about to say.
Get rid of its ward save.
If this changes the math on Bow Sharpty putting down a balloon in a turn, it's worth it. Because
it probably gets you like 2 more wounds on it, right? Which is sometimes what you want for 50 points. So the next one, 45 points. This is also an interesting one. Scroll of Summoning. The words inscribed upon a scroll of summoning enable the reader to reach into the underworld and call forth the souls of the dead. This is an enchantment, casting value 8, range 21 inches. A target-friendly unit regains D3 lost wounds, and until your next start of turn subphase, improves the armor value of its regeneration save by 1.
So D3 wounds and +1 regen. Not terrible. Not terrible.
There are some interesting off case scenarios here. If this could be cast into a unit that was in combat, I would be all about it.
Me too. Just helps you win that grind that much better. Maybe just to win the combat rather than trying to grind. Yeah, I like this one I like this one less than the previous, to be honest. For only 5 points more, I'd much rather do something a lot more proactive. When I acknowledge that Tomb Kings are already defensively extremely sound, based on their resurrections already having 2 saves on pretty much every unit. This one doesn't touch the sides for me. I wish it was, instead of getting +1 regeneration save, just like a second cast of Stand Boys Backup, whatever it is. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I think where I would use this, where the Stand Boys Backup, like there's a couple scenarios. If you were a wild person and ran an Arch Necrotect,
I see.
It's kind of interesting because like you can Arch Necrotect. Technically the Arch Necrotect stacks as it is, but like nobody plays it like that because they're not awful people. But you could like Arch Necrotect, Stone Shape, Necrosphinx, or your Sharpty and get them up to a 5-up or a 4-up regen. Cast this on them with your Arch Necrotect, get them to a 3-up regen, and that's real good. A 3-up regen on a Necrosphinx is pretty hot.
All right. Next up, Scroll of Awakening for 40 points. It's a magic missile, casting value of 9, range 27. It is a small blast, 3-inch template. So place it central holes directly over the center of the target enemy unit within 27 inches. Any enemy unit whose base lies underneath the template risk being hit and suffering a strength 4 AP2 wound. At 27 inches, this is just straight up a catapult shot. It's not too bad, a strength 4 AP2. I do not think in a million years you'd take this, though.
You don't. I don't see it. Like, casting value 9 is cool because it means it's not going to get dispelled often.
Yeah.
Range 27 helps with that as well, right? So, like, you're almost inevitably going to be outside of dispel range if you want to be when you pop this. But
I have no reason to tell you why for 40 effing points this is only a small blast.
make it D6 plus 1 hits, boys.
Just make it an actual magic missile. Make
Small
it just a
blast
quality
template.
magic missile.
Get rid of templates. We shouldn't have them. Get rid of them.
No, just make them good. I don't want
Make them
templates
good.
gone from another game system I enjoy.
Maybe make it so that like this risks being hit thing is gone. But because if it wasn't risks being hit, if it was anything under the template, even if you had to make it scatter, I wouldn't be all in. I don't think it's that good anyway. But I would be. I'd consider it a little more.
Much
than
happier.
the, like 2 guys you might wound with it.
It's trash. What's the next one?
Scroll of the Outcast Dead, 35 points. Upon reading aloud from the Scroll of the Outcast Dead, the souls of the damned are dragged screaming from the coldness of the void to torment the living. This is a magical vortex. Its casting value 8 with a range of 18. Remains in play. Place a small 3-inch blast template so its central hole is within 18 inches of the caster. Whilst in play, the template is treated as difficult terrain. The template scatters D6 inches during every start of turn subphase. Any unit, friend or foe, that moves to the template or that the template moves over suffers a single strength 4 hit with an AP of 2. This hit has the multiple wounds D3 special rule. Any unit that suffers 1 or more unsaved wounds from this weapon must make a panic test as if it had taken heavy casualties. This isn't good.
So straight up, the first 2 sentences, hottest garbage. The rest of it, really good. Like
It's
a
not even
template
really good.
the template that's strength 6, so strength 4, AP 2, multiple wounds D3, and auto causes a panic test. That's like one of the best wordings on any vortex in the game. It still remains. Doesn't matter. It's still a remains in play Garbo small blast that gets placed 18 inches from you. Then it moves once, gets dispelled for 35 points.
But it doesn't hit every model in the unit either. It just does a single hit. So it's not good against anything. I guess it's good against ogres, where you might kill a single ogre. If you 50-50 the wound save, and then you 1 in 3 the killing thing.
So think about the other leadership combos though. Right, you've got Skulls of the Foe. You could be proccing off on them for leadership modifiers and a couple of other ones you could stack. So, but yeah, still, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah, they tried real hard.
They have to take an unsaved wound. The one wound they take.
And
then they changed, they changed also how vortexes move through units too, right? So, in the past, where you could chain this, maybe where you have a situation where you can kind of accidentally chain it through, then maybe it's got a little more value. But now you're effectively guaranteeing you're only ever hitting 1 unit with this.
Exactly. But dude, it's 35 points for it to come within 18, scatter once, and then likely be dispelled on a 6 if your opponent's got a level 3 or better. And then
it's not a good.
Cool, great 35 points, bruh. They could have written any words on that vortex. This wouldn't be worth it.
This is the worst. This is the worst timeline. That thing. Don't take that, everybody. Even if you could take
urgency.
I guess maybe if you could take 8 of them, because technically you could.
You could, but you wouldn't.
And spend 260 points of your army list on it, you could have an amazing 1 turn if everything scatters. And I'm sure that's what everybody's thinking with this thing.
Someone do that. And I want that guy and the pigeon bum guy to play each other.
Yeah.
All right, Scroll of Urgency for 30
points. Guy would lose, unfortunately. Anyway.
I know. Scroll of Urgency, 30 points. Conveyance, casting value 7, range 21. I got to say, all the ranges on these are good. If the target-friendly unit has already moved during this movement phase, not including failed charge moves, it can immediately move again. So 30 points to literally just have a move again spell, pretty much. Your Walk Between Worlds, your whatever equivalent. You'll just move again, go for it. Arcane Urgency. We know how many of those variants are worthwhile taking in Tomb Kings because there's a whole lack of dynamics for Tomb Kings a lot of the time. I think this one is, in my opinion, the most takeable because the way I see it using is it's your get out of jail free card. Because when you've already tried to cast all your move again spells and you failed, you pop this guy for a leadership test and you see if you got your third chance to possibly get your spell off. I like it a lot. What was the analogy you came up with? You compared this to the Lore Familiar?
Yeah, it's not as good, but there's a lot of people that take Lore Familiar and Battle Magic because Arcane Urgency is so good. On top of Fireball and what used to be Pillar of Fire. But Arcane Urgency is often like from a competitive level, the spell you want and why you would take Lore Familiar to get it. And this is 30 points, same cost as Lore Familiar. It doesn't take your magic item slot to use it though. It does take from your overall points, but whatever. To get this. And like it's decent. A 21-inch range is massive compared to Arcane Urgency. I believe Arcane Urgency is much smaller. So like putting this on like a Hierophant on a dragon, like just so that you can kind of like fly up with your Tomb King, say, and then double move him. Or just double move yourself is extraordinarily powerful. I think this one could see play. I'm not sold that it would, but like this is probably the one I would look out for on people's tables in like a competitive Tomb Kings list. There's value here for sure. It's just whether 30 points is
correct
too much or not.
Yeah, if you got 30 points of wriggle room or agility within your current build, I easily think it's the most takeable one. What was the last one?
The last one is Scroll of Righteous Smiting for only 10 points. So you could definitely, in a very particular build, see people taking one or more of these. In response to the words upon a Scroll of Righteous Smiting, the warriors of ancient Nakara redouble their efforts to strike down their enemies. Sounds like this thing's going to do a lot. It's an enchantment with a casting value of 7 and the range of self, baby. It's also remains in play. Boo, but also maybe yay. Whilst this spell is in play, friendly units whose troop type is War Machine that are within the caster's command range can reroll a single artillery die or scatter die per turn. It's pretty good.
For 10 points, if you're taking a double catapult build, double catapult, double casket, so to speak, and you're already playing that kind of, you want to stand back and shoot him up kind of build. I think it's quite good actually for only 10 points, and you could probably take two. You could probably take 2 of them on 2 different casters and just rotate them in and out if needs be. And I don't hate it for only 10 points. I think it's pretty good, but only if you're taking 2 or more War Machines.
I mean, like. Cathay takes an Ogre Loader for 35 points to get a one-shot reroll.
Yep.
This is 10 points, and it's every artillery piece in range. So you take your like cheap Mortuary Priest, put this on him, keep him in the back with your like 2 or 3 Screaming Skull Catapults or whatever, depending on what you're taking. And it's like it's going to get you your value back. Those games where you don't lose the like 120 point unit to a misfire, right? So I think it's great. I think this is definitely another one that if you're taking a Screaming Skull Catapult, you probably take this just to have it as the insurance, right? 10-point insurance is not bad.
Totally agree. All right, next up we have the Renegade Crowns. So give us a little breakdown of what this is and how to explain this to people before we jump in, because this might be a bit of a mess in the brain pan.
Yeah. So the Renegade Crowns, these are they're like the pseudo border princes. So we've already got the Bretonnian Exiles, which are like a border prince army of infamy.
Yep.
Already for Bretonnia. Renegade Crowns are this is like a separate kind of border prince army. Like, so in this case, these aren't like a full army of ex-chivalrous knights. These are mercenaries and outlaws that have kind of banded together under one single warlord. And in the border princes, basically from a lore perspective. So
and
these are like vast mercenary companies.
Guess what? It's not. It's not Dogs of War.
It's not Dogs of War.
Boo. Essentially, if you look at Bretonnian Exiles as cool, we are the knight ideology with a couple of auxiliary, empire things, and called the border prince brigands and say the artillery pieces. This one's much more of a holistic mishmash of ideologies.
This is the empire side of it. This is like an empire army that can kind of take a Bretonnia guy.
It's the inverse. Yeah, it's the inverse of the correct.
This is worse empire most of the time.
Yes, it is. It's a thing. All right, I'll run through the composition list and then you give us the high points. So up to 50% of your army can be spent on 0 to 1 Renegade Prince per 1,000 points, Renegade Captains and Outcast Wizards from Kingdom of Bretonnia, the Outcast Wizards. The core is at least 25% of your army can be spent on 0 to 1 unit of veteran sellswords, similar to veteran state troops, sellswords of infantry, free blade knights, and hireling outriders, Free Company Militia, and Empire Archers from Forces of Fantasy. And then up to 33% of your army can be spent on veteran free blades and 0 to 1 Border Prince mortars. So the exiles coming in. And then up to 25% of your army can be spent on brigands from the Arcane Journal of Bretonnia, 0 to 1 War Machine chosen from the following: Border Prince Organ Gun, Border Prince Bombard, from the same Arcane Journal. And then up to 33% of your army may be spent on mercenaries, including any dogs of war from any Arcane Journal. And yeah, note that mercenary units are subject to the misbehaving mercenaries rules as described as page 279. Wish that wasn't there. It's kind of no need for it to be there. And then your Renegade Captain can be your BSB, yada, yada, yada. Any models that have the option to take purchase magic items may purchase common magic items as well. Give us the lowdown here, mate. This seems pretty freaking sparse.
Well, I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, this is a full-on army list. There's a lot of options here. And, like, the concept here is they're trying to portray an army of sellswords and mercenaries and outlaws that have kind of banded together in no man's land to survive. So your Renegade Prince, we'll briefly go over the stat lines, but Renegade Prince, effectively an Empire General, mixed with a Bretonnian... not a Duke or Baron, more Baron, like a Paladin, I guess.
Yeah.
And then your Renegade Captain is effectively a Empire Captain, and for all intents and purposes, Outcast was we've seen before. Yep. At your core, veteran sellswords, they're like all of the, and same with the sellsword infantry. These are basically a mix of state troops, great swords, basically any Empire infantry unit you can think of, whether it's ranged or not. That's what they are. They're all of them combined. And then your Free Blade Knights, they're just Empire Knights.
Yep. Outriders are Outriders.
The big thing with like most of these units is that they will have Warband. So that gives them they all have shit leadership because of that, compared to Empire units, but they make up for it with, the warband bonuses and, re-rolling charges, which is kind of sweet. Renegade Crowns have a number of special rules because the units are quite customizable. The first thing is that the origins of the infamous. Every one of the characters in a Renegade Crown of Infamy army can purchase an infamous origin, which we'll go over later. Based on which ones you purchase, some units in your army may gain additional benefits as detailed below. The first one, and I'll do this one, and then you can do the next one here. The mercenary hosts. So there is an option to upgrade one or more of your characters to be basically Tillian mercenaries. So for each character in your army that has the might of Miragliano Infamous Origin, which is the Tillian one, 0 to 1 units of sellsword infantry or veteran sellsword infantry become heavy infantry instead of regular infantry, and gain the phalanx rule for plus 10 points per unit. If you're unaware what the phalanx rule is, this is in one of the Tomb King's books, a close order unit in which the majority of models that have the special rule is considered to be in combat order. Sorry, no, this one isn't. This is what's confusing. It's not the same as the Tomb King.
It's not the same.
So what this is you are considered to be in combat order rather than marching column, even if you are deeper than you are wide, provided you contain enough models per rank to claim a rank bonus. So with heavy infantry, it's 4 models per rank.
4, yeah.
So you can be like 6 deep and 4 wide. You're not considered in marching column. You are considered regular. While such a unit is deeper than it is wide, it still claims a rank bonus and can perform a charge, but it cannot move at triple its movement characteristic. Yep. In addition, should such a unit be charged by an enemy unit with the first charge special rule, it cannot become disrupted. So that's really powerful.
I like it. Yeah.
If a unit with the special rule wishes to move into marching column and march at triple movement, it must be both deeper than it is wide and contain fewer models per rank than is required to claim a rank bonus. So in the case of heavy infantry, it's 3 or less. This is actually like a very interesting ability, given how customizable the sellswords are. You can make, if it weren't for the fact that you're kind of locked into the magic items that you can take, being core only, you can do some pretty interesting things by having this like a very deep unit of sellswords, because they also have the horde special rule. So you can get like 4, 5, 6 combat res, and immune to first charge is a big deal for them.
Huge. Yeah, correct. Everything about this rule is telling you to take a massive brick, just telling you to take the biggest freaking brick that you can. And you should, because, I mean, it doesn't matter how big the brick is, it's only 10 points to upgrade them to heavy infantry with the phalanx rule. So the bigger the freaking better. They want you to go freaking horde styles on here, 50 plus. Whether that ends up...
There's a good amount.
Oh, look, I threw out a random number. I'll stick by it. Whether that's worthwhile, we shall see. Because I've tried big units of veteran state troops before, and very middling results. Outcast Knights is the next special rule. For each character in your army that has a Renegade Knight infamous origin, 0 to 1 unit of Freeblade Knights or veteran Freeblade Knights, which is just your Empire Knight or slightly better Empire Knight, essentially Inner Circle Knight without the rerolls Knight, may have the Lance formation. So you can have your Empire-esque Knights in a Lance formation, and you get the Noble Disdain, which means you don't take the Panic Chest text for the... Is it just a militia in this book, or is it anything with attachment?
Noble Disdain's slightly different for them. We can get into it when we cover their special rules.
We'll get into it. Any good?
I mean, they're knights. Knights are Empire Knights were always kind of like middling, and Inner Circle Knights also kind of middling. Yeah. Lance formation is a big upgrade for them, though. The extra mobility is quite good. The fact that all of them are considered in your front rank, even if all your opposing units are still considered in the front rank, kind of sucks. But like, there's a lot of benefits to it. Yeah. I would say the other thing, and we'll cover it when we talk about like getting that Renegade Knight infamous origin, is it does allow that character to take Bretonnia magic items. Correct,
and that's the buy-in. I think
that's the buy-in there. So I think you take it for just for that alone, and then you just get that little extra benefit of the lance.
What's the next one?
And the Noble Disdain. The next one up is the Outlaw and the Renegade. So for each character in your army that has the Noble Outlaw infamous origin, up to 0 to 1 of your hireling outriders, these are just very customizable outriders, may have the ambusher special rule for 1 point per model. Ambushing light cav is pretty decent.
Good. So it's decent. 1 point per model, doesn't break the bank either.
Nope.
I like it. All right, last one, Wandering Duelist. For each character in your army that has the Wandering Diestro, infamous origin, screw that word, 0 to 1 unit of Border Prince Brigands may have a +1 modifier to their weapon skill characteristic for 2 points per model. In addition, once per game, all models within this unit may make enemy models that direct their attacks against them in combat, the combat phase, re-roll successful to hit rolls. I think this one's quite good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm not sold on it.
So I only skimmed the Brigands. Can they take the blunderbusses?
They can take blunderbusses, yeah.
Can the blunderbusses stand and shoot?
Yes.
So consider this. You're getting charged by, I don't know, a scary unit. Yeah. You stand and shoot, maybe kill 2 or 3 dudes. Yeah, +1 weapon skill, so they go it might be an effective -1 to hit in that combat. They go from hitting you on 3s to hitting you on 4s, and then you make them reroll all the successful hits. All of a sudden, you go from getting railroaded, pursued, and run down to maybe winning that combat.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Does sound cool. May never come up, but that was like best case scenario in my head for this being a thing.
Because those blunderbusses make them so expensive.
So expensive. Right? That's why I figured you're already in. You're already in for a penny, in for a pound on the friggin' blunderbusses. So might as well jack it up by 2 more points per model, baby. Full commit.
Yeah,
The
like I
issue
mean,
with-
I'm not. I don't think it's a bad. I think you might be onto something. Especially in like a world where like objectives matter.
well, the issue is people just then understand what that unit does, look at it, and then just decide to fireball it till it goes away because it doesn't really have a save. So, yeah, it's gives and takes here. I'm trying. I'm trying, but that play excites me. Like just offering that play to your opponent.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's like, so you basically have a Tillian option, Bretonnian, like a fallen Bretonnian option, a like fallen Empire option, because that outlaw and the renegade one does let you take Empire magic items on that dude, and then an Astalian option, essentially for character upgrades.
Mhm.
We now move into the like unit statistics. So your Renegade Lords, a Renegade Prince, base movement 4, weapon skill 6. Ballistic skill 4, strength 4, tough 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 8, 75 points. The captain has 1 less weapon skill, 1 less wound, 1 less initiative, 1 less attack, 1 less leadership for only 35. They start base with hand weapon and light armor. You can upgrade them to have great weapon, halberd, lance, or a morning star for 4 or 3 points depending. They can also take, if you wish, a warbow, a crossbow, a pistol, or abrasive pistols for 3, 4, 5, and 10 points. They can take a shield for 2. They can replace their light armor with either heavy armor or full plate.
Yep.
They can be mounted. However, this army only has the options for warhorses and barded warhorses. They cannot take any griffins or pegasi or anything like that. So keep that in mind. It's a really big downgrade.
It is.
Princes can take up to 100 points of magic items, although they are locked into only the magic items found in the core rulebook, unless you take one of the upgrades, one of the like hero upgrades that they give you otherwise. And the captain can take 50. They come based with rallying cry, veteran, and warband. So it's not bad. Like I said, it's kind of a mix between an Empire general or captain and like a paladin. So they get +1 weapon skill over what they would normally have, and -1 leadership. But they make up for it with warband
and veteran,
and veteran. So
I mean, on face value, like if you didn't pay attention to the fact they lose all their good mounts, this is not bad. And the points aren't egregious. Like 35 points for a captain, perfectly acceptable. Like if you wanted to, you could just take cheapest chip captains with full plate on a barded warhorse with abrasive pistols. Just run them around being annoying. Don't suggest it. Not going to do that well, but it's cute.
I mean, yeah, you can have a bunch of dudes for like 50 points, 60, well, probably 60 points that have a 2-up armor save.
Yeah, correct.
That's not awful.
No, it's not the worst thing ever. Barded Warhorse is here. It is, and regular Warhorse, 12 and 16 points respectively. You know exactly what these are. So moving on to Sellsword Infantry. So the regular infantry is just a regular infantryman from Empire. Moving for 3, so weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, and toughness. 1 wound, initiative 3, 1 attack, only leadership 5, 4 points per model. Your command upgrade comes in at 7 for the sergeant and then 5 for the standard musician. The veteran sellsword is exactly the same shebangy bang. For some reason, still only has leadership 5 and 6, which is frustrating because it's an extra weapon skill on both extents, and is only 1 point per model more for the veterans. So 1 point per model for literally an extra weapon skill. Pretty good. They come standard with hand weapons and light armor, and you can upgrade them with any diggity goddamn thing that you want. Thrusting spears, halberds, great weapons, crossbows, or handguns. And then you can also take shields and replace light armor with heavy armor. You will rack up the points very quickly if you choose to, like, say, go handguns for 3 points a model or great weapons 2 points a model, and then also take a shield and heavy armor as well. All of a sudden you will literally double the points of your model. But then like I said, the veteran command is the veteran sellswords can take 50 points of magic items, and they can replace light armor with full plate for 4 points per model. You can build out your great swords if you want. In addition, they can have drills at 1 point per model, and the veteran officer can have 25 points of magic items. Sellswords come with the special rules of close order detachment, horde, regimental unit, air warband, and veteran sellswords get veteran in addition, as you would expect. Look, this is a Build-A-Bear of a unit. Like, you can literally do whatever you like. There's just one freaking rule I wish this unit had that it does not. I wish it had freaking Motley Crue. Either. Just maybe just the veteran version getting Motley Crue, or you could purchase Motley Crue, would make all the difference in the world.
I think it would be pretty stellar, yeah. But I think like veteran sellswords, there's a lot to be said here for, especially if you take them with that Tillian upgrade. So they don't have to go too deep, and they maintain their because they have the Horde special rule, so they're going to still get 3 rank bonus. You pay the 4 points for heavy armor, so now they're 9 points. Shields get them to 10 points a model.
You mean full plate, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, full plate and shields.
So you have
a model drilled
finally
to 11.
Correct. You have a drilled 3-up armor save infantry unit as Empire, like freaking actually hot with Phalanx, Warband, and Horde. It actually kind of looks pretty good.
Then pay the 2 points for crossbows on them. And then
why not?
Just like you could stand in the back, shoot your crossbows all day, or handguns. I would probably go crossbows because they're cheaper and longer range.
Yeah.
And then when your opponent gets close enough to you, Horde up, reform so that you're like 4 wide and 6 deep or something, and gain all those benefits and live your like absolute best life. The other thing about that Tillian upgrade, and I hate the way they did it because they should have put all what the character upgrades do for the characters up
in
there
the same
as well.
section. It's so stupid.
Because it makes a big difference in how it gets explained up. But that Tillian upgrade, the other thing it does is if that character is in a unit, he gives a stubborn to that unit while he's in it.
So good. So good.
Like that makes this unit like really legit. Like I wouldn't say it's super legit, but it makes it something you could consider running.
Correct.
A 3-up armor save with crossbows.
Yeah.
Or make them a 4-up save with great weapons, which I don't think you do because like we already have that. Even the big
and it's not good
this
enough.
is core, I guess, is the thing, but it's not good enough. But yeah, like Warband on them is great, so you get your reroll charges, but also just the leadership doesn't matter. Now you're leadership 9 most of the time. 10 if you have a character in the unit. So like this is a pretty good core unit. I don't think it's amazing.
It's I definitely think it's the best core unit Empire have access to. It's not the best core unit that Bretonnians have access to, so it's somewhere in the middle.
The best that it's hard to say because I mean Empire's State of Null core outriders are pretty strong.
Well, actually, fair. That is fair.
And then we get Free Blade Knights are next. So Free Blade Knights are base weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3, strength 3, tough 3, initiative 3, 1 attack, leadership 8 for 18 points a pop. Their command is 6 points per model. Veteran Free Blades for an extra 4 points, so 22 points per model, get an additional strength. So they're strength 4 base, which is good. They can be on either war horses or barded war horses. And that's an upgrade. It's a 3-point upgrade to get the barded, which is kind of shitty. Because like regular Empire Knights don't have to pay for that shit.
Correct.
They come base with heavy armor and hand weapons, all the knights, regardless of if they're veterans or not. For 1 point per model, you can either take lances or great weapons. 1 point per model gets you shields. You can upgrade from war horses to barded war horses for 3 points per model. And then veteran sellswords may upgrade their heavy armor to full plate for 4 points per model. So if you take like full upgrades on a veteran free blade unit, they go from their base 22 points up to 24, 27,
I think it's
31 points per model.
I was literally doing the same thing.
So a slight bit cheaper than Inner Circle Knights, but they lose the rerolls. Right, because Inner Circle Knights are what, 34? I can't remember now.
I will look it up.
They might be more expensive, actually. Now that I'm talking about it. Anyway, they come with Close Order, Counter Charge, First Charge, and Swift Stride on the Free Blade Knights, and the Veteran Free Blades get Veteran on top of that. I mean, they're knights. They're fine.
Yeah. I wish they got a little more. I wish you didn't have to just buy everything on top of everything on top of everything. Like I wish you didn't have to pay extra for the full plate on the veterans. for what I could sell you 4 points for model more between the two, but that 4 points is literally just buying you an extra strength, which isn't nothing, but 4 points for one strength is.
I mean, I'd pay that one strength.
So it's veteran. It's veteran. No, veteran is what you're paying for. Yeah.
No, it's both. One, like strength 6 with lances is big versus strength 5 or great weapons. I think the thing is here is like, what's the cheapest you can make them and still be 22 points. Don't bother with barded and take lances, no shields. 23 points for strength 6.
Yeah,
strength 6 attacks with just a 5-up armor save. No, thank you. I mean, but
I appreciate that you tried.
I was just thinking, like, just for like, how do I save points and make this unit still effective? I guess, like, when we go back to the origins, because we should actually just do it that way. Honestly,
it's too late now, Peter.
It is too late now. Okay, it's just so. I hate this book.
Inner Circle Knights are 29. Per model.
Okay, so that's
well, sorry,
that's
30 with the lance. Yeah, 30 with the lance.
They don't pay for full plate. They already have it, right?
They already have it, yeah. And they have what reroll 1s to wound, just built in. Yeah, but they don't have veteran. They can pay 2 points per model for stubborn. Yeah. What are regular Empire Knights? 1 sec. 21. With a regular Empire Knight, and so 22 with a lance.
Yeah, so these are the free blades are more expensive to get the same result. But you can pay 2 more extra points to give them lance.
Yeah, true. All right, Hireling Outriders. These are your Outriders, 11 points per model. Movement 8, they come on a regular warhorse. 3s for strength and ballistic skill. You get 1 more ballistic skill on the captain. Strength and toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 3, 1 attack, leadership 7. Come with hand weapons, yada, yada, yada. Can take cav spears, 1 point per model, short bows, pistols. Short bows for 1 point, pistols for 3, and a brace of pistols for 6. Can take light armor for 1 point, heavy armor for 3 points, and shields for 1 point as well. So you got your unit upgrades for 6 points per model, and 0 to 1 unit per 1,000 can have feigned flight for 2 points, reserve move for 1 point, vanguard for 1 point, and 50 points of magic items. Magic standard worth 50 points. They come with fast cab, fire and flee, open order, skirmish, and swift stride. So this is not bad. So 7 points per model. What do you reckon, mate? I'm going to quickly look up how much. What did I say?
So they're 11 points. They cannot take repeaters. They can't take repeater handguns or repeater rifles. So that's a bit of a blow, but not overly so. So these are more akin to like road wardens or pistoliers than outriders, to say.
Pistoliers are 16 points per model, come with heavy armor. And
so these guys as pistoliers are like 20 some odd points.
Way more expensive.
To take the same, but they're extremely customizable, kind of the same idea. Like you can, instead of going for ranged, you can take like cav spears,
heavy armor shield. Yeah.
And so now you have like a 4-up armor save dude. That's 12 points for 16, 17 points per model. Reserve move, vanguard, feint flight. Like feint flight plus fire and flee is always very powerful to have. I think they were a little too aggressive with the upgrade costs because they add up so fast on these units.
So much.
Especially being only ballistic skill 3 on them. There is a way to make them ballistic skill 4 or at least 1 or 2 of them in your army ballistic skill 4. But overall, once again, just a highly customizable unit, but you pay for it. Yeah.
All right, we got our 2 artillery pieces. Take it away.
Yeah, Border Prince organ gun. It's an organ gun, just like what dwarves have, so not a Hell Blaster like Empire. And that's it. It has the levies special rule and skirmishers. Levies is great, by the way, so you're not going to cause panics if they blow up. Toughness 7, 3 wounds, 125 points, and the mortar.
For unknown reasons, it's 5 points more than a Hell Blaster.
I mean, it's just because this isn't a good movie for me. And then the Border Prince mortar, 90 points, and it's a mortar with levies.
Yay! So the mortar is special. The mortar is 95 for Empire. Oh boy, finally we found a bargain. The the border princes aren't overtaxing.
Yeah. Okay,
Right.
and then we have our infamous Origins, which probably should have been at the top.
Up the
but
top,
this,
and is, in my opinion, the only exciting part of this army.
Yeah. So this like doubles down on and we've said it before, on the customizability of this army and what will make some of those units above actually worth taking. So we've kind of already gone over them before a little bit at a time. Now we'll kind of go into more in depth. So any Renegade Lord, so Captain or Prince or an Outcast Wizard within your army can choose to be upgraded to have a single Infamous Origin. You can duplicate Infamous Origins. You can have as many as you want per every character, right? And this is what they get you. So the first one, I'll do the first one. You can do the next. The Might of Miragliano is plus 25 points. This is your Tillian upgrade. The Tillia is famous for its mercenary companies led by skilled commanders of great courage and repute. A model with this infamous origin has a +1 modifier to the leadership, so they go from 6 and 7 from 7 and 8 to like 8 and 9. So that's already quite good. These are warband units, so you're going to be maxing them out of 10 most of the time anyway. And they gain stubborn and Tillian stoicism. Stubborn by itself does nothing unless if these guys are by themselves, but Tillian stoicism helps because this rule is, should a character with this special rule join a unit prior to that unit making prior to them making their first break test of the game. So before this character has to make a break test, if it's in a unit, that unit gains the stubborn special rule. However, should the character leave a unit they have joined for any reason prior to making their first break test of the game, that unit immediately loses the stubborn special rule. So basically, this character has stubborn. As long as this character has stubborn, any unit it joins has stubborn as long as he's in the unit, is what they're trying to say. So if you pop him in your veteran sellswords, and then for whatever reason, you're like, this guy's going to charge me with 2 dragons next turn. I can't get away. He's going to bolt and join another unit. The unit that the dragons are going to charge loses stubborn, but the unit that he joins will gain it because he still hasn't used his stubborn. But once he uses stubborn, if he swaps between units, the stubborn is gone. He doesn't keep giving it up.
Correct. And it's a long way of saying that, but that's what it's between the lines. All right. The Knight Renegade is up next for 25 points, and I quite like this one. This is the one that'll be giving you the option to take Lance and Noble Disdain. For the unit, a model with this infamous origin has +1 modifier to weapon skill and strength. Those are good modifiers. May purchase magic items from the Kingdom of Britonia, lists in the Forces of Fantasy and the Arcane Journal, and gains Noble Disdain and Veteran. That's a lot of value. Noble Disdain reads as thus: a model with a special rule whose troop type is cavalry does not have to make a panic test when a friendly unit whose troop type is infantry is destroyed within 6 of it, or when fled through by a unit that's troop type is infantry. So ignores all the panic tests from anything that's infantry based. But for 25 points, you're giving out Lance, you're giving out that Noble Disdain to the unit, you're getting +1 weapon skill and strength, and you're getting to open up the entire playbook of the Kingdom of Britonia magic items, which are some of the best in the game. You're talking about the Frontier Axe, man. Like, this dude pops off. This is really good.
Yeah, it's quite good. The fact that he gives access to both the Forces of Fantasy and the Arcane Journal magic items is quite powerful. He doesn't get access to Frontier Axe, I don't believe, because that's Exiles only, I want to say, but everything else, right?
Oh, true. It says Army of Infamy Exiles only. But you are correct. I chose the one thing that I wanted that I couldn't.
But there's like a bunch of other items that are amazing, and you're probably going to take at least one of these guys. 100%.
I think you're taking at least one of them. I don't know. We'll read the Wandering Diestro guy, but those are the only 2 ways, in my opinion, to make anything that slaps, any character that slaps in this army. But anyway, moving on to the next one, mate.
Yes, the Noble Outlaw. 20 points. The border princes are filled with ruthless outlaws and cutthroats that claim to be of noble birth. A character with this or model with this infamous origin gets a +1 modifier to their ballistic skill and their leadership characteristics, so they bump up to ballistic skill 5. and also get that nice leadership bump. They gain the hold the line special rule from Forces of Fantasy, which is quite nice. And they may purchase magic items from the Empire of Man magic item list in Forces of Fantasy and the Arcane Journal of the Empire of Man. In addition, if they couldn't already, they may take one of the following: a handgun, a repeater pistol, a short bow, or a long bow. And they can choose to take the ambushers or scouts special rules. This one's okay. Like you can make like a kind of like a sniper character with this. The fact that they don't necessarily help any of your units out kind of makes it a little sad. They do, but because they make the Outriders slightly better, don't they? Yeah, because they give them the ambushers. So like this lets you like take one of those Outriders units and you get a character and you put them in ambush together, and you can like hunt a cannon or something with it. It's fine.
So I'm trying to figure out if there is a build here with a Outcast Wizard. You taking this one? So I just wanted to quickly look what the Outcast Wizard ballistic skill is.
It's probably
and then you take the plus to cast magic missiles wand, and you try and just like daka an Outcast Wizard. Yeah, is that going to be a thing? So I'm just quickly scrolling down the Arcane Journal. So apologies. Green Knight.
I mean, it's only ballistic skill 3, so you get up to ballistic skill 4. You could give him like a handgun or something, or a brace.
It's not enough. I was hoping it was 4 and would go to 5, and then it would warrant the repeater.
Yeah,
that was the play. The play was to go repeater pistol, the plus to cast magic missiles wand, and put it on Outcast Wizard. Never mind. Wasn't to be.
That's not what it's good for.
No, turns out it's not.
Anyway, I mean, you can still take the like Prince's bow or whatever, and put him on the sky in ambush with a small unit of Outriders and like hunt something. I think that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's worth it, but
I wish it just gave you ambush and scouts for free. You're already paying the 20 points.
I think is probably extreme, but
way too much. All right, last one, the Wandering Diestro for 20 points. Has +2 weapon skill modifier. Nice. Gains feint and dodge special rule. May not take any weapons with the last strike special rule. May take an additional hand weapon for 3 points per model. The feint and dodge special rule has been cut off in a huge and amazing display of absolute neglect and but it reads, the first bit reads, once per game when an enemy model directs its attacks against a model with the special rule and then it ends. But it obviously, in both Peter and I's opinion, refers to the fact that you've once per game make your opponent reroll successful hit rolls against you once per game, as it was mentioned previously. The fact that it's cut off is just freaking hilarious and shows a little bit of the lack of love the old world gets at times. Is this any good, though? Because I think this is okay.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to be so safe with this by saying you can't put it on a great weapon. It's like they're acknowledging that great weapons are too powerful compared to other types of weapons, which is hilarious. So
I love
the Wandering Duelist. He gets bumped, like the captain gets bumped up to weapon skill 7 with this, which is like a good break point. So now your weapon skill 3 stuff is hitting him on 5s, and you're giving they can't hit you on and it means most like combat characters fighting against you are hitting you on 4s. So like there's a lot of value there, and that he will probably, unless you're up against like an Ogre Blade or like a Monkey King Bow, survive a round of combat. Even without saves.
But see, here's the problem. Yeah, this is the kind of guy I would love to put on a peg with like just a 5 up ward and put him in as a blanket turn versus a dragon. Like just go in versus a dragon, make it hit you on 4s. Reroll all 6.
The dragon though, stomps exist.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Yeah, they could roll low. We're playing this army, man. We're already living on so many prayers. But it's you put him in there as a potential like blanket turn to a danger unit. Just hold it in place for a turn. But you can't put him on anything fast enough to catch any of these units.
No, you really can't. And like what core weapon are you putting on him to make him like
Oh.
that legit, right?
Nothing. You can't take the great weapon. I guess you take sword and board and double down on the maybe I can get into a 2-up armor saveness, like because you can, right? You can.
Yeah, like I think there's a
few warhorse shield with a 5-up invuln. Ward.
I mean, like you could just also put him in your unit of Border Prince Brigands that he's upgrading.
Yeah.
And now they're weapon skill 4 and he's weapon skill 7 or 8.
And yeah, he just to challenge him out and then have an infinite amount of combat res. I guess that works really well too. Just make him as defensible as possible. And then they charge you with a big unit or a big gribbly, challenge it out, just die to the stomps. Maybe not a huge amount of overkill. And, you've got 7 combat res, 8 combat res versus maybe they're 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think there's we're grasping at straws here.
Absolutely, we are. Absolutely.
Like it's something where it's very close to being cool, but then they made all the upgrades so expensive that it's not.
These upgrades, my man, could be free. Could be dead set free, and it wouldn't be broken.
Some of them should be free. The thing you mentioned earlier with the ambush and stuff, that should have been free.
That should be 100% free. As far as I can tell, it's the first 2 are bust. Like the Tillian one is fantastic as a one-of in your army, and the Renegade Knight, I could see you taking 2 of those very comfortably.
Yeah. There might be a cause for the Empire one because there are some good Empire magic items. Like getting even just like the Witch Hunter Talisman for the Magic Resist 2, and the once per game armor reroll is probably pretty decent.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's it, right? Is there anything else in this army? There's a lot of rules in this army. It's extremely customizable. I don't think it's going to be competitive because by the time you upgrade everything to make it the way you want it to, it's going to be too expensive to do anything.
So let me paint the picture. Yes, the hobbyists out there are going to have a goddamn field day. This army is like a hobbyist's wet dream.
Oh, it is.
When you get to the competitive level at the table, you have horse-ridden characters, foot infantry, one version of knights, one version of two versions of the same knight, 2 versions of the same infantry, one option for outright for fast cav, and then 2 war machines. This is
3 war machines, but also no engineers, which hasn't hurt exiles before, but like
you see what this army amounts to. There's very little there's very little damage output in this army. There's very, very little reliability or internal synergies. You just have the ability to upgrade your units however you want and then upgrade them again via the character system. That's pretty much it. But you're still working with really vanilla units.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to be a Debbie Downer. I'm sure people like the lovers of this kind of gameplay and the hobbyists out there will get so much joy out of this army and the customization and pulling out all their old dogs of war and just saying that there's this army of infantry, which is exactly what you should freaking do. But yeah, this is not sparking joy as far as getting anything powerful going.
Now, that said, we're also talking about the fact they have access to all of the Dogs of War mercs out there.
Correct.
And there are a few of them that are pretty decent. Yep. So you can get Badlands Ogre Bulls in this army. So you get some monstrous infantry if you wanted. Doom Seekers are probably the best Dogs of War unit in the game, and that's available to you.
100% agree.
So just some options to spice this up.
Would be very fluffy to put Doom Seekers in this army. Very fluffy.
Yeah.
All right, let us move on to something that I am more excited about, or at least I'm very, very, very happy it exists. This is the Slayer host for the Dwarves.
The Warriors of Grimnir.
All right, the Army of Infamy composition list is up to 50% of your army's points can be spent on Ungrim, who must be your general if he's here. From the Arcane Journal, 0 to 1 Demon Slayers per 1,000 points and 0 to 2 Dragon Slayers per unit of Slayers taken. At least 20% of your army points must be spent on Slayers, so a little bit of a discount there. So you don't have to spend the 33 or the 25. 50% of your army can be spent on 0 to 1 Brotherhood of Grimnir units, which is a brand new unit, and 0 to 4 Doomseekers per Demon Slayer or Dragon Slayer taken, which is the most interesting thing to unpack. And then in the rare slot, up to 25% of your army can be 0 to 1 Goblin Hewer per 1,000 points, a 0-1 dwarf cart per 1,000 points, not including miners carts. So they might as well have just said the cart that you could take. If your army includes Ungrim, 0-1 units of hammerers may be included as a rare choice. And then up to 20% of your army may be spent on mercs, including 0-1 units of rangers. So you could have a unit of rangers and a unit of hammerers and some pony carts, and then your stuff. But I think the players who are going to be picking this up will be 110% all in on the big angry red-headed boys. You get the runic items, and you get the runic tattoos, and then a single Dragon Slayer can be a BSB for 25 points. How do you feel about this composition list, my man?
I mean, it's cute. It's definitely like we already have had a pseudo Slayer host out there, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this isn't 100% necessary. I get why they're doing it because they want you to be able to do it without having to take Ungrim, and this does open that up by saying, like, if you want to take Ungrim, you can in this list, which is awesome because Ungrim's cool. But you don't have to, and then you just get different benefits for not doing that, right? It
kind of annoyed me at the end there where it said you could take the hammerers, you could take the all the other bits and pieces like the rangers and stuff, because I'm like, well, the Ungrim army already does that. So where's the difference between this and that? Why not make this one a point of distinction and change the additional unit? I know it's thematic for him to have the hammerers with him because he's a king and they're defenders of the king, yada yada yada. But it just seems a little too samey when they could have gone another direction.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you consider like how limited they are across the rest of the army, I don't think it's that terrible. And honestly, like, well, I don't think this army list is going to like beat the brakes off of a tournament. There's some interesting stuff here. From a for funsies perspective.
They had an opportunity, dude. They had an opportunity. So the Goblin Hewer exists. So, there is already a Slayer adjacent kind of construct war machine, yeah? I wanted the Slayer gyrocopter.
Yeah, that would have been kind of cool.
I wanted it. And literally the whole purpose is to just freaking crash it into your opponent. And and then on a 4+, the Slayer gets out, having survived the crash, and fights on. And that's it. I wanted it so much.
That would have been actually kind of badass.
It would have been badass as hell, dude. All right. Let's go.
Even if you took the guns off and it just had more impact hits.
Dude, exactly. Dude, you nailing on the head, dude. Maybe it has a rock on the front and does like D6 +1 impacts or a D3 +2 or something.
Dude, it would be so sick.
Oh, it would be so good. Anyway,
and then like if it dies on a 4-up or a 5-up, the Slayer or 2 Slayers jump out. And
exactly right.
2 Slayers punching a dude. Oh,
spot on. So good, man.
James Workshop, pay this man.
Yeah,
pay this man to make your Slayer host.
Do you know how much money you'd make for Slayer gyros? Anyway,
I'll be somebody hit bash some Slayer gyros for us, regardless of their lack of rules.
Yeah, it's necessary. All right, special rules, dude. Take it away.
Special rules. Okay, so if you're running a Slayer host, you get some special rules. The first one, from the wilds. Slayers are drawn by the sounds of battle and the promise of violence. 0-1 units of Slayers with a unit strength of 10 or less in a Slayer host army of infamy may have the ambushers and skirmisher special rule for 1 point per model. Not bad. It's okay.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
It's like I hate that they're doing this like limiting to 10 thing for ambushers now.
Yeah, silly.
Because like, just let us have fun.
Yeah, dude. I don't know why this is limited to unit strength 10 or less. It's very unnecessary.
Also, like Slayers are stupid expensive already. Yeah. So make it 15 at least. Like, do us a favor.
It kind of pisses me off. I wish it was like 0-3 units of a total unit strength of X. Like, of a higher unit strength is a much better way to do it. Like, okay, so you can have 0-3 units getting ambushes of a total unit strength of 20, So you could have 2 10s, you could have a 15 and a 5, you could have something like that. But just 1 unit of 10, pretty meh.
Pretty meh.
Because it doesn't make it, like, if you were to bring on 10 Slayers in ambush, your opponent backs up and shoots them and they die. Like, it doesn't, like, it needs to be a bigger unit or not at all.
Yeah, GW, come on.
It's super. Yeah, it's silly. This next one is pretty funny. Look, Snorri, trolls. That's literally the name of the rule. After deployment, but before deploying scouts or making vanguard moves, all units of Slayers and Brotherhood of Grimnir within a Slayer host army of infantry may make a Look Snorri Trolls move. A unit making a Look Snorri Trolls move moves D3+1 as described in the basic movement rules. It may maneuver as normal but cannot march. Roll separately for each eligible unit. Literally, this is just a pseudo Vanguard, army-wide pseudo Vanguard on Slayers and Sons of Grimnir, Brother of Grimnir. It's very necessary. Like they needed some rule like this. Why they couldn't just give them Vanguard? Why they needed to invent the Look Snorri Trolls? I don't know.
Right, so they can get Vanguard already because of the
runes.
The runes, right? So yeah, that's really it. So now they can get Vanguard on their standard, and then also have this and move maybe 7 inches before the game starts.
Yeah, let's go.
I guess 8 inches if you have a Bugman's cart. Isn't that wild? If you high roll this, you can move 8 inches before the game begins.
Do you want to have a go saying the name of the rule though?
The next rule?
No, this one. I thought you might have
Look Snorri Trolls. You want me to yell that in a game?
I wanted. Yeah. Well, no. I thought you might have missed out because I got to say it like 4 or 5 times.
No, it's fine.
Really? Danny would have done it.
Danny, this is Danny's thing.
Continue.
I'm so sad that Danny's out being the sheriff of Nottingham, and we are here doing this. Okay, Troll Hunters is next. This is a rule where 0 to 1 characters in your army per 1,000 points may have the Scout special rule for an additional 10 points per model. However, you cannot give this special rule to Ungrim Iron Fist because they don't want you to have fun. So you can put a Demon Slayer or a Dragon Slayer into scouting, and you probably don't ever do that. But with Look Snorri, actually, Look Snorri Trolls happens before scouts, so you don't even get that benefit.
Nope.
So it just sucks. But like, if you like that kind of thing, if you like being aggressive.
I don't hate the idea of just like making the most beefcake, expensive Doomseeker I can and putting it directly in front of my opponent's best unit.
Yeah.
Pre turn 1. Being like, yeah, you charge me, you get no points. You don't charge me, awful shit might happen to you.
Or you could like really kid out a Demon Slayer and also give them that runic tattoo. So it's like a 350 point model or something insane with like max out the runic tattoos, max out his runes, and just be like, yep, this guy's going to kill 3 of your dudes. And then you're sacrificing 400 and some odd points.
I think it is quite cute. I think there could be a build where this is necessary because I think you're going to have to use everything you got in this army.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to turn every cog, pull every lever.
Yeah, because like the next special rule, they definitely undercut dwarves on.
So undercooked. Wards of Grimnir. Any unit of a Slayer host army of infamy that includes a standard bearer may purchase Wards of Grimnir for 1 point per model. A unit with the Wards of Grimnir has a 6-up ward save against any wounds suffered during the shooting phase that were caused by a non-magical enemy attack. And I just have to say, my God, did they refuse to pull the trigger on this one?
Yeah.
It should just be army-wide 6-up invuln, 6-up ward. Not against shooting, not against combat, all the effing time. Magic, non-magic, don't care. You're freaking playing Slayers. Just give them a 6-up ward. Just give the whole army-wide 6-up ward. Yeah. It's not going to change anything.
I don't know if it has to be army-wide. I think it could just be all the Slayers in your army or something. Or whatever you want to pay 1 point per model for. But like...
Shits me up the wall. That this
if you look at Cathay, if you take a really good character, 1 point per model gets you a 6+ ward save against everything, and +1 weapon skill, and +1 leadership. So that kind of sucks that they went with this one, which other units in the world have, but
Bretonnians have a good armor save, and they get a ward save.
Yeah, they pay.
These guys don't even have an armor.
Although Slayers pay for something.
Dude, Slayers pay for so many things they don't have.
Yeah,
Slayers are still paying points for their armor.
And here's the last rule, which shouldn't come up often, but it is a thing. Worst among equals, I think, is just funny. Surly and quarrelsome by nature, Slayers are seldom willing to heed the commands of any individual. So if your army includes Ungrim Iron Fist, he must be your general. If not, You must nominate a Demon Slayer or Dragon Slayer to act as your general, even though the loner special rule would normally prevent this. However, to reflect that Slayers are shitty leaders, a Dragon Slayer or Demon Slayer that is the general of a Slayer host does not gain the Inspiring Presence special rule. Note that if the general of a Slayer host army of infamy bears the rune of the Dishonored runic tattoo, that's the one where if you die, you do not give up victory points.
Yep.
The enemy player can win the bonus victory points for slaying them as normal.
So you still get the plus 100 for killing the general, etc.
Yeah, you still get your general victory points. You just don't get the rest if you kill the general of a Slayer host that isn't Ungrim. Ungrim gets all the benefits as well.
Yeah, so literally they're telling you Ungrim or bust, but you still might not want to.
Well, no, because almost all Slayers are leadership 10, right?
Exactly, and unbreakable. So is this a big deal? I don't get Inspiring Presence? I don't think it is. I think it's a bit of a nothing burger.
Yeah, it's just fluff more than anything.
Yeah. All right, Brotherhood of Grimnir, the only new unit, and the last thing we'll be talking about in this, because you don't get any new runes or anything in this army unit for me. There's Shrine Guards and Shrine Keepers is the Sergeant upgrade. They come at 18 points per model. For movement 3, weapon skill 5, bliss skill 3, strength and toughness 4, 1 wound, initiative 3, 2 attacks at, of course, your leadership 10. 21 points for the Sergeant upgrade, which is another weapon skill, another wound, and the same amount of attacks. So actually, second wound is not bad for 21 points on a weapon skill 6 model. They are regular infantry with their hand weapons. They come as a unit size of 5 to 30. They can take additional hand weapons, 1 point per model, great weapons for 2 points per model. Then they got their unit upgrades, 6 points per model, apart from, like I said, the Shrine Keeper, which is the champ, for 21 points. They can take standard runes up to 100. A Shrine Keeper may purchase a runic tattoo, which says varies, and a weapons rune of up to 50 points, and talismanic runes a total of 50 points as well. So you can spend a lot of points on this dude. Yep. The special rules are blessings. It's a rune,
They're a Slayer rune priest.
Blessings of Grimnir for the Shine Keeper only. Closed Order, Death Blow, Gromdor weapons, Hatred, Orcs and Goblins, Immune to Psych, Loner, Magic Res 2, Motley Crew, Resolute, Slayer, Unbreakable. All the special rules. The Blessings of Grimnir is exactly what you said it is, mate. They get to make a Wizardly Dispel. However, unlike regular wizards, a Shrine Keeper doesn't have a level of wizardry to determine the dispel range or modify their dispel rolls. Instead, a Shrine Keeper has a dispel range of 21 and may apply a +1 modifier to their dispel rolls. And of course, Slayer is auto wound on a 4+, regardless of toughness. Is this unit any good?
They're so expensive.
Off their guts. Their chops expensive. So
if you give them great weapons or additional, I don't know if you do. I think you do. They're 20 points per model for a toughness 4 unit with no save.
You have a 6+ versus non-magic shooting, bro. What are you talking about?
Now you could pay that, or you could just, because they have they can take 100 points in standard runes, right? So
standards,
the
Master Rune Agni after the 5 or 6 up.
Yeah, and that's probably what you do with this unit. And then I don't know if that's bad. They're 2 attacks each. 3 attacks if they go with additional hand weapons. You probably go great weapons, but anyway, 2 attacks each with great weapons is not a terrible amount of attacks. If you get to make your attacks in close combat is the only problem, but they have death blows. So that's cool. They get to punch back. I wish they got to punch back with their great weapons.
With their great weapons,
amazing.
Correct.
The only reason why you're taking these guys is probably for the Blessings of Grimnir, the Dispel.
Yeah. The only reason I would see you are taking these is if you're not taking Ungrim and therefore don't have access to the hammerers, because I see these guys as just more expensive, shitty hammerers.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah. If you are taking a Dragon Slayer, Demon Slayer as your general, this is the next best unit you can get, and maybe you take them.
Maybe.
You can take man, they're so expensive. I just wish
players that are like so much cheaper.
Correct. And we're talking about Slayers. They're already priced out the wazoo for everything.
They're only actually, now that I think about it, these guys are only 1 more point than a Giant Slayer. So never mind.
Really?
1 more point than a Giant Slayer, and they have this exact same stat line as a Giant Slayer. So yeah, you know what? They're fine. Giant Slayers are overpriced
Over
anyway.
costed. Yeah.
So
What's a
these are
regular
just-
Slayer? What's a regular Slayer cost?
Troll Slayer is 12. Like, right, so Slayers
Yeah.
are Motley Crews. You can pay 12 points for a Troll Slayer or 19
Yeah.
for a Giant Slayer
Giant
before you pick your weapon. 2 points for a great weapon, 1 point for additional hand weapon. So it's like you pay 1 extra point to get
So
Blessings of Grimnir. Like, you're basically paying a point to get a Rune Priest in your unit.
Yeah. For 21 more points. You're paying 1 more point for the option to pay 21 more points.
Yeah. And I mean, you get the 100-point banner.
Yeah, you do. You do.
I guess can't be overlooked because the regular Slayers can only get 50.
I just have fundamental issues with the price point of Slayers. You're paying for like the defensive profile of an Orc Boy for just an exorbitant amount of cost. Like, you're paying so many points for Unbreakable, so many points. Who cares about Unbreakable? You just all die. Like, no one's there to be unbreakable. You're all dead because your toughness 4 no save. They needed more here. They needed some way to stick on the table.
Yeah, but if you don't think of this as an army that's trying to be competitive, it's just trying to be fun.
Exist and have a good time. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. And I actually think there's going to be some hilarious sods out there that make like. So the way I see this working in my mind, and we'll maybe unpack this a little more on part 2, is you just min-max the Bojangles out of your Doomseekers and then make an unkillable super brick of Hammerers and Ungrim. And that's totally a thing that you can do.
Or just not even bother with that and just min-max your Doomseekers, Dragon Slayer. Like, I think you'd end up having to play into we talked about this in the pre-show. Like, especially if you can get into an event that doesn't use the match players guide and limit you to like 3 Doomseekers, where you can actually take 4 Doomseekers per Demon Slayer or Dragon Slayer, you can do some real silly things,
dude.
That I think would be quite hilarious. Like 8 Doomseekers is a hilarious thing to me.
It is, me too.
But even without that, taking like double Demon Slayer, giving them the Dishonored rune, and then maxing out 3 Doomseekers, so you end up with like 1,000 points or 1,200 points or whatever that if they die, your opponent doesn't get them, where the only points you're giving up are your Slayers and whatever else basically just your Slayers if you do it right. Like, I think there's some hilarious value there where you could pull off some very funny draws, if not wins. Just by denying points that way, right?
Me too. Yeah,
in an easier fashion than the Ungrim list was trying to do.
Yeah, I think this list is actually quite cute in teams. Like, it actually is quite cute in teams. It would take a lot of generalship to make it work. But on that note, that's the end of the review of this Arcane Journal. At this point, we do our rankings and rating systems. I'm going to be a little kinder on this because I'm starting to detect my expectations of what Arcane Journals moving forward are going to look like will be changing, especially after what we saw from the Cathay one, which was essentially like 2 pieces of paper stuck together with some fluff wrapped around it. And the 2 pieces of paper weren't even full of words, not even half full of words. But this one has a cool amount of fluff and some nice stories to tell. It has a brand new way to play smaller sandboxed games of, the rank and flank game we all love. It pretty much has negligible, given to the top of the meta. There's nothing here that's going to affect any balance, nothing here that's going to shake the foundations of the competitive meta. But for the players out there of these respective factions, people out there with the beautiful Dogs of War collection, you're going to find ways to use it in the Renegade Crowns and have some fun there. And for the lovely enjoyers, the absolute nutters that enjoy their Slayer host, you're going to have some fun with this. I don't think either of these are very powerful, and I'm still going to give it like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at. I think competitively, this is like a 4 out of 10 book.
2. Yeah.
But from like a hobby perspective, from a lore perspective, it's like an 8 or a 9, probably an 8.
Yeah.
I don't think I would go a 9. But yeah.
So to me, this is a little bit of a love letter to the community rather than something to be adopted by us at the top of the grind of the community. So it's unfair of me to evaluate it on those standards of me looking for new, exciting ways to play the most competitive games. That's not what this book is for. And so I need to be a little more impartial than I would usually. Because if I was to say this on those metrics, this is a 1 out of 10. It literally got the rich a little richer in, giving Tomb Kings another tool. That's all it did for the top of the meta. And so whatever. But outside that, man, it's a love letter to a lot of players out there. And hopefully you guys enjoy it.
And the one thing I hope, because there was a lot of rumors and leaks about Dogs of War in terms of the old school Dogs of War, the ones we were used to in 6th edition.
Yeah, man.
That I think a lot of people thought were going to be in this book and weren't. I hope that what this means, because this is so bland, is that it means that we're getting a dedicated release for them.
If we actually just got a freaking army book for Dogs of War, and then maybe
a full-on
journal
dedicated.
Oh my god!
With the pikemen, with the weird
Birdmen
units, right?
Give me the Birdmen.
That would make my day. And I hope that that's actually something that's still happening. Because the rumors for those were pretty solid. I will say the main rumors for what this book contained, when I first read them, I was like, this is 100% wish listing. But the fact that they were 50% correct, they got that the Slayer host was in this before GW said there was.
Yep.
They got that there was a Border Prince's army. They were just way off about what they actually contained. I'm very curious as to what the future holds for us.
Yeah. On that note, we are done with this review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, enjoyed the delve. Hopefully our shenanigans, a little bit of negativity, some positivity here at the end. Hopefully you've enjoyed the journey. Hopefully because of that, you'll come and join us over at part 2. Add that old world charm on Patreon. Get involved with our Discord community and enjoy getting your questions answered on your own very own part of the show. Peter, my baby, my sugar, my honey. Close it out, mate.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to That Old World Charm with those charming chaps, Adam, Danny, and Peter the Falcon. Thanks ever so much. Cheerio.